think of your mind as consisted of two broad levels. One is your conscious mind and the other is your subconscious mind. Right? The subconscious mind is like the ground in a agricultural farm. It's like it needs to be in a fertile state. So you cannot control it directly. You can put fertilizers and you can make it fertile so that जब आप कुछ उपज डालोगे तो वो निकलेगा अच्छे से. But the conscious mind is where you control many more things. In the context of the conscious mind, as I said, the conscious mind gets thoughts from four sources. Broadly, thoughts and feelings come from four sources. They come from the past, they come from the future, they come from the present here, they come from the here and now. And the fourth dimension from where they come is, they come from the now, but from somewhere else. Okay? They come from the now, but they come from somewhere else. Right? So there's this story of when I was a 1 year, 1.5, 2-year-old kid, just started speaking. My brother was sent to stay with my grandparents. And I had an imagination that he's having a great whale of a time, where I am somebody where I'm just getting by in my life. So I had this song that I used to sing, Bhaiya Coca-Cola pita hoga, softy khata hoga. So my mind was not in the here and now. It was thinking about Bhaiya eating Coca-Cola, drinking Coca-Cola and softy somewhere else. So my mind was getting dominated by the now, but somewhere else. So these are the four dimensions of what is happening inside your mind. And the conscious mind, there's a rule of the conscious mind. It's called the 7 ± 2 rule of the conscious mind. It's called the 7 ± 2 rule of the conscious mind. The conscious mind cannot access more than 7 thoughts at a time. Extreme, most of the time you'll see 5-6 thoughts में तुम्हारा mind fill हो जाता है. तो अगर तुम suppose you are sitting here and listening to me, and let's say you get used to, or you get conscious. You get conscious of, let's say, a child crying outside. अगर तुम्हारा consciousness उस input को लेना start किया. So what it does is it pushes out something which is there in your head at this point, and it comes in. Right? So it does not have space because your conscious mind is already filled at all times. And when you bring in something from somewhere else or wherever, even from here and now, it pushes something out. So the control of the 7, so you just need to control 5 things that are happening in your mind at a time. So if you have a situation where these 5 thoughts that are dominating your mind at the present are coming from the past, you just have to push them out. You can't, it's said that you cannot not think about something. The logic is this. If I say think of a camel, the camel has come in your head. I said don't think of the camel. The camel is still there. He's not gone. But the moment I say think of a camel, think of an elephant, think of a tortoise, think of a snake, think of a zoo, think of Delhi, think of the New Delhi railway station, the camel will be gone now. Because it's been pushed out. So when you are dominant, let's say you are in a past dominant state. Your conscious mind is in a past dominant state. It's taking all its input from the past. Purana soch rahe ho kuch. And because of that, your current performance is getting. Maths karne baithe ho. You're trying to solve a problem, and you're bringing your past experiences into this problem. You're superimposing them. ऐसा होता नहीं है. ठीक है? तो अगर तुम उस थॉट को पुश आउट करने की कोशिश करोगे, नहीं होगा. उसको अगर रिप्लेस कर, नहीं मैं ऐसा नहीं सोचूंगा, तो ऐसा नहीं सोचूंगा तो डोंट थिंक ऑफ द कैमल वाला एंगल हो गया. तो कैमल वहीं रहेगा. So to push it out by, you can't block thoughts. You push it out by getting fresh thoughts in. Always. right? And you just need 3 or 4 thoughts to come from somewhere else. Focus on the next word, focus on your pencil, focus on how you're holding the pen. The moment you get that focus, the negative things that are dominating your present state of mind will go away. And this is completely in your control. Right? Distracting yourself. I mean, you have experienced this. A baby is crying for an ice cream or a toffee. A small child is crying for a toffee. तुम उसको अगर बोलते how do you stop him crying? तुम उसको बोलते रहो कि टॉफी नहीं मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा तो और जोर से रोएगा वो, राइट? और जोर से रोएगा. एक डॉग को देख लो, डॉग सपोज एक बॉल के पीछे भागना चाह रहा है और तुम उसे हटाना चाह रहे हो. तुम उसको अगर डांटते रहो कि बॉल नहीं मिलेगा तो वो और चिल्लाते रहेगा. यू डिस्ट्रैक्ट हिम. शो हिम अ पीस ऑफ फूड, वो तुरंत डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो जाएगा, बॉल भूल जाएगा. It's as simple as that. So our mind is very similar to that. Unfortunately, we never use it. So when you're trying to control your mind and through the mind you want to control your thinking, you try to focus that what is there, what is filling up your conscious mind is coming from here and now. I was listening to a interview of Novak Djokovic the other day, small interview clip, and the interviewer said that and this will give you a glimpse into what the greatest champions are all about mentally. The interviewer said that you have such a brilliant mind, you've got such a strong mind. Everybody else feels so much emotions and are not able to perform because of emotions. You somehow raise your game when you're under pressure, and how does it happen? And that's a skill that we all want, right? Under pressure होंगे तो मेरा game raise हो जाना चाहिए. I should do better in an exam than I'm doing in practice. You know Djokovic's answer. He says that it's not that we don't feel it. Everybody's human. It's not that we don't feel it. And this is insight into one of the greatest competitive minds in the world. Because in tennis at the top level, it's all mind. So he says, because all the top 100 players can hit the same ball. Maybe top 500 players can hit the same ball. So otherwise it's all the mind. So you know what he said? He said that it's not that we don't get these feelings. It's how quickly we can push them out. So I take it, he says, just a deep breath and I'm back into the present. So you have to learn, because the moment I can start utilizing this guy, like the greatest champions use it, in my field, what do you think will happen? If I can utilize Djokovic's way of thinking in my own field, can I remain unsuccessful? Right? So there's a champion's mindset. There's a champion's way of thinking. The champion's way of how to utilize this guy, which we have never learned, unfortunately. As I keep telling you, our education system just focuses on the physics, chemistry, maths, and English and biology, and does not teach you the most important thing of how to utilize this. जोकोविक को देखो, वो कभी मैच में 1-2 पॉइंट पे एरर कर देता है, तो he does this. Have you seen his matches? If you've seen his matches, he does this. He's giving himself a message that I have to control this guy. And at that level, it's all this. And at every level, every career, it's all about that. Right? ठीक है, हम लोग के लाइफ में उतना नाइफ एज सिचुएशन नहीं आता है कि विंबलडन फाइनल खेल रहे हैं और ये मैच ये पॉइंट नहीं जीतेंगे तो हार जाएंगे. We don't have those kind of knife edge situations, but we do have those pressure situations. कि आज एक मीटिंग है, इसमें परफॉर्म करना है मेरे को. If I don't perform well in this meeting as a professional, if I don't perform well in today's meeting, I'm not going to get a prize that I'm looking for in my career. So it's not as knife as ये वाला point, ये बॉल को नहीं मारूंगा ठीक से तो मैं हार जाऊंगा. उतना knife edge नहीं रहता, लेकिन knife edge situations तो आते हैं. आज एक इंटरव्यू देना है मेरे को, and I have to make sure that I put my best foot forward during the interview. So that's a knife edge situation that you face. वहां पे अगर चैंपियन माइंडसेट के साथ जाओगे, you'll perform. Right? So very beautifully stated. So this guy is the conscious mind, and he's supported by the fertility of the subconscious mind. Fertility or lack of it. He's supported or impeded by the fertility or the lack of it of the subconscious mind. And it's the subconscious mind which is gripped by all these emotions that come into them. So there's a beautiful statement. There's this movie, I'm sure you've seen the movie The Matrix. उसमें एक सीन है जहाँ पे Morpheus, who's training Neo to be the next big guy, and he keeps telling Neo that you are the guy who's going to break this matrix open. उसको उस training में there's something called a jump program. उसमें you have to jump from one building to across the street to the other one. It's an impossible kind of jump. And Morpheus tells Neo that I mean the situation is such that nobody ever makes the first jump. First jump में सब, and it's a training program. The first jump में सब नीचे गिरते हैं from the top of the building, from the skyscraper. नीचे गिरते हैं, you don't die of course because it's a training program, but you try to jump. And Morpheus tells Neo, free yourself, free your mind. And then he gives 3 words. So that to me is the prison of the mind. Those 3 words, and a 4th that I think I have discovered is the prison under which your subconscious mind is gripped. And when this prison grips the subconscious mind, your conscious mind can't control itself, because as I said, अगर यहाँ पे fertility नहीं है, तो पेड़ यहाँ पे नहीं निकलेगा. It's the same as an agricultural field. And what are the 3 words? He says, free your mind. Before that he says, fear, doubt, disbelief. Let it all go. Fear, doubt, disbelief. Let it all go. So to me, these 3 are the prison walls for the mind. Fear blocks the mind, doubt blocks the mind, disbelief blocks the mind. And there's a 4th wall, which I'll come to, which he does not talk about it, but I think that's the 4th wall. अगर इसको मैं structurally देखूं तो. So, and you can kind of correlate this with what we talked about last time, that these emotions are essentially coming from, you're bringing them from the future. Why are you fearful? Because you are scared that something bad will happen to you. Why do you have doubts? Doubts you have got from your past mostly, about your ability to do something or not do something. मैं तो ऐसा नहीं कर पाता हूँ. Disbelief, the lack of belief in my ability to cross over, to do something. So when these prison cells, when your mind gets fixated inside these prison cells, then it does not allow you to perform. It does not allow, it will impede your performance, it will impede your state of mind that you are in. तुम अगर here and now से इसको fill करने की कोशिश करोगे और ये तुमको grip कर रहा है यहाँ पे, not going to work. Right? What is the 4th wall of the prison? The 4th wall of the prison, I think, is habit. So we have built habits. We have built the way we want to live our lives. We have 99% of our daily actions are built out of habit. What time we eat, how much we eat, what we like to drink, what we don't like to drink, the way we react to somebody's behavior. Most of it is habit driven, because we have chosen one of the responses to each situation that we're going to face. Right? So my favorite example, ma'am and I were driving on a road in Lucknow, and there was this old man who was driving next to us, and somebody crossed him, and they had a slight crash of the cars. छोटा ही हुआ था, ज्यादा कोई बड़ा एक्सीडेंट नहीं था, just scraping, थोड़ा पेंट निकल गया होगा दोनों का. So the other car, SUV, this burly gentleman who must have been 40, 45, I can't call him a gentleman. He came out and started slapping this old person. तो मेरे मुंह से निकल गया बेचारा, right? And ma'am knows me by now pretty well. So she started smiling. He said, whom are you saying bechara? I said, you know whom I'm saying. I'm calling that the guy who's hitting, he's bechara. The normal guy who will say the normal things. Bechara to normally उस बूढ़े आदमी को ही बोलते हैं लोग जो मार खा रहा है. So I said, you understood who bechara is? He said, yeah, I know that is the guy who's hitting. और क्यों बेचारा है? Because ये बूढ़े आदमी जो थे बेचारे वो तो ठीक है, मार खाए, थोड़ा खून निकलेगा, 2 दिन में 4 दिन में ठीक हो जाएंगे. इसके साथ क्या होगा? His mind is in a prison. उसको इतने छोटे से इनिशिएशन पे ऐसा एंगर आता है जो वो खुद को कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाता है. तो उस प्रिजन में वो पिछला 20 साल से जी रहा है और मोस्ट लाइकली अगले 40 साल तक जिएगा, बिकॉज पीपल आर नॉट एबल टू एस्केप देयर प्रेजेंस. ही इज इन दैट एंगर प्रिजन, राइट? ही कांट कंट्रोल हिज एंगर. एंड टू मेक मैटर्स वर्स, योर किड्स, आई मीन तुम देखोगे फैमिलीज में डोमिनेंट इमोशनल थीम्स होते हैं. जैसे मेरे फैमिली में बहुत फनी चीज है. माय पेरेंट्स फैमिली, माय ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स फैमिली, जब भी कोई ट्रेन पकड़ना होता था या किसी फ्लाइट पे जाना है, किसी ट्रैवल जर्नी पे जाना है, तो सब लोग एकदम टेंस हो जाते हैं. उसका हम लोग ट्रेस किए इन अ फैमिली मीटिंग. वी काइंड ऑफ ट्रेस ये कहाँ से आया है, एंड वी ट्रेस्ड इट टू द फैक्ट दैट माय ग्रैंडफादर हैड 6 children, 7 children at a time. One of them died, but 6 children of different age. 3 साल से लेके 12 साल के बच्चे होंगे सब एक पॉइंट पर. लोग घूमते नहीं जाते थे और ट्रेन पकड़ना होता था. And my grandmother with her plethora of things and all would go, and my grandfather would be tense about कि ट्रेन छूटेगा etc. तो इमेजिन कर सकते हो क्या सिचुएशन होता होगा घर पर. तो दैट टेंशन emanated or percolated into everybody's head. और वो डोमिनेंट थीम था. और उस इवेंट से वो उस जनरेशन में तो चला ही गया. उस जनरेशन से मेरे फादर के फैमिली, मेरे चाचा लोग के फैमिली, सब फैमिली से लेके वो मेरे कजिन्स में भी आ गया और मेरे अंदर भी आ गया कि ट्रेन पकड़ने जा रहे हैं, फ्लाइट पकड़ने जा रहे हैं, टेंशन आ जाएगा. हाफ एन आवर, 45 मिनट, 1 hour बिफोर दैट टेंशन में रहोगे. तो द बिगर प्रॉब्लम दिस गाय इज क्रिएटिंग फॉर हिमसेल्फ is that his children are going to get that dominant emotion of anger from the father, because kids will always learn what the parents do. So if the response of the parent is always slightest provocation, anger, uncontrolled anger, the kid will also do it. So he's not only concerned in his own life, he's also concerning his next couple of generations to that anger situation. और वो बच्चा 20 साल, 22 साल, 24 साल का रहेगा, उसको किसी सिचुएशन में, बहुत क्रिटिकल सिचुएशन होगा, वहां पे उसका एंगर टेक ओवर कर लेगा, एंड ही विल नॉट बी एबल टू कंट्रोल हिमसेल्फ. सो बेचारा कौन हुआ? जिसको 4 दिन का मार पड़ा, 4 दिन बाद ठीक होगा, कि जो 50 साल के लिए अब खुद को और अपने फैमिली को कंसाइन कर दिया, बिकॉज ही कांट कंट्रोल इट, राइट? सो इट्स वेरी क्लियर that somebody's mind is inside a prison of, I mean, these kind of prisons are there. You have the anger prison also. Anger is also this thing of that prison. Tension, anxiety, those are all components of the prison that you build for the subconscious mind. And once these dominant thoughts or emotions or feelings start dominating this, your conscious mind has no chance to control itself. Right? तुम अगर एक डेजर्ट में एक ऐसा पेड़ लगाओगे जिसको बहुत पानी चाहिए, तो नहीं पड़ना, वो कुछ नहीं करो, कुछ भी करोगे, वो इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी सक्सेसफुल. सो जस्ट द फैक्ट दैट यू आर कॉन्शियस अबाउट दिस कि अच्छा, आई हैव गॉट कंट्रोल, I have control, because I can try to block this.